I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up.
Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasamy.
Alright, hey guys, what's going on? So this all ties in. I wanted to show this. It's very to the point of this. Gary and Sender, I can't even fucking...
Hungary found himself defending his government's gun buyback program that he appeared to criticize in a recording made on Sunday. Anandasamy did not know he was being recorded when he said that if he had the chance, he would not have proceeded with a federal program aimed at buying assault rifles and other weapons from gun owners. David Aiken has listened to the recording. David, what does the minister say on it?
Well, this recording, Donna, was made by a tenant of a property that Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasamy owns in Toronto. The tenant had called.
Well, of course he owns property.
Anandasamy about a landlord-tenant issue, but then the tenant says Anandasamy brought up the government's gun control plan.
I'm going to tell you something else you may not be happy with. We're launching a gun buyback plan.
Anandasamy and his tenant have known each other for a while. The tenant legally owns an assault rifle that will soon be banned by Ottawa. Ottawa expects gun owners to sell their freshly banned guns to the government. The tenant says he does not want to sell, and in the recording he provided to Global News and others, he tries to convince Anandasamy to scrap the policy. Anandasamy says he cannot.
This is the mandate I was given by Carney to complete this.
He says one of the reasons the Liberals cannot change, they need votes from Quebec.
Right, and this is something that very much a big deal for many of the Quebec electorate that voted for us.
And then he tells his tenant he would have done things differently.
That's
if I were to redo this from like scratch, right, I would have a very different approach to this.
Oh my God.
The Conservatives, who have long opposed
so
this gun buyback program, saying it unfairly targets legal gun owners, hammered Anandasamy.
The minister said that his gun grab won't work. Why is it that Liberals only tell the truth when they don't think anyone is listening?
My comments were misguided.
After that concession,
my comments were misguided. Yeah, bullshit. You just didn't know one was listening, and you knew that the program is totally disingenuous. Alright, how's it going, guys? Creature Dewey back once again. I got another video queued up for us to watch tonight. Can turn that up slightly. This is quite the video, and I'm just gonna play it for the first little bit, and we'll talk in a bit.
What happened to me over the past year or so has like shaken me to the core, and I'm like, I didn't think I was being hired to be the little brown boy that filled 7 to 9 with filler content. If they want to put out CBC is, you know, the most diverse network ever, we have one of these, and we have one of these, and we have one of these. They talk a big game publicly about diversity, equity, inclusion. Right? It's all about that. When it comes to their own house, don't know. I want to say fix it. I don't know if it's fixable, though. It has gone so far, you know, schoolyard bullies.
He's off the air for 1 week and he's trying to get his job back. And he recorded this with
Like, goddamn, like, holy shit, man. That in itself is just crazy. It's like this guy comes forward as a whistleblower admitting that it's not so hot actually being part of the CBC, and admits that Pierre was banned for talking to them during the election.
CBC executives.
If Pierre Poilievre wanted to come on Canada Tonight, what would be the case?
And this is just how ridiculous it's gotten. So we'll listen to that clip.
Okay, let's take a listen. So how's this going to play out during the election?
Yeah.
So I keep saying this hypothetical situation where they approach us with an interview,
and the answer is always
Clinton Jaws, where have you been?
An interview.
And the answer is always, I will connect you with my friends at Power and Politics because it is their premier politics show. And they say, sorry, we don't want to do the interview.
And the answer is always
Clinton Jaws, where have you been? Guys, I have one question for you. Leave it in the comments. What do you like better? as a channel name? Based in Canada or Canadian based?
Yeah, Canadian based.
Where have you been? Why haven't you been posting on this channel? Well, ever since the election, I feel like there's been nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about in Canada.
Yeah, there's lots, man.
A lot of things. I knew this was going to happen.
Well,
I knew when Mark Carney got elected,
okay, my bad.
he was going to do nothing. Which left me speechless because I had nothing to say. It was easier before when you had Trudeau and Pierre, those two characters. And now I feel like I'm left with really nothing. I still like Pierre. I'm still going to vote for him. But he's given me nothing to even talk about. I don't know what's going on with that.
Really, you should. I mean, if you're paying any attention at all, dude, it's the same message, more or less, really. I mean, it's because the policies have spiraled it even further that it feels like he isn't even giving you anything new to talk about. It's because he has consistency in his message, which is fantastic, and I think that's really important. Going to be really important going forward. I think people are going to learn, hopefully people are going to learn that Mark Carney is not to be trusted more than almost anyone else. He's one of the biggest snakes and weasels there's ever been. The UK hates him for a reason. They're burning down pretty much right now because of the mess he left them there, and he's going to leave us a quite similar mess if he isn't ousted soon, and that's no joke.
And I really wish he would just stop smiling and talking at the same time. And then you have Mark Carney, who can't speak.
You don't want a leader who is smiling because he's hopeful and everything. Pierre is a very hopeful guy, and you see that off him, and that's why he smiles so much. I've never met him, but
maybe I'll just say one more thing, which is
look inside yourself. Look inside yourself.
But I found something, finally, yesterday, that has given me motivation to talk about. We have a CBC whistleblower, and everything that we knew about CBC, he confirms. His name's Travis. He's got a new podcast. I'll put it in the description. He gets axed by CBC. He has a show on TV with a panel. Liberals, conservatives, and they all bicker, kind of like Abby Phillips.
I focus on politics. You have to be above it. That's nothing to do with wealth. It's policy. Proceeded to be Air Force. Who cares about the plane? Leaves the office. Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter. What matters is why
asylum. No. And we call these people illegals, but they're Christian refugees. I have this crazy thing I do with the Bible. I read it. And Jesus is emphatic about saying that we will be judged.
When I say stop talking, please stop talking. Thank you.
That's a good point.
Wow.
You know what, Scott?
Well, exactly like Abby Phillips. And they cancel it. He describes it here.
Some left-leaning program to not turn it into some right-leaning program to represent all views of Canadians, to have balance. And so that's why when, in the development phase, when we were pitching it, and I had to fight hard for this segment, I thought that we should have a nightly panel where we were talking about the issues of the day, having the conversations that Canadians are having with different people. And sometimes diametrically opposed people. I had Brian Lilly on with like Sheila Copps. And so I thought that that segment was really key because we were doing it in like a really kind of organic, real way.
And they cancel it. Of course they cancel it.
Let's do it
CBC, this would be the best show on TV. And this guy should actually take his podcast and...
Okay, so I just want to make a clip. This I'm going to leave this video in the link, but I don't want to get too into this one. I'm going to have a few videos edited together as a little montage of, people seeing through the cracks in the government and wanting to take it down. And, we're getting there, so... Yeah, alright, hey guys, what's going on? Here's the next one that I wanted to do. This is on the Northern Perspective channel, and I'm going to do a clip from here, which is going to be just beautiful.
Stupefying. Shocking. It's not a funny fiscal outlook. It's a really serious fiscal outlook. And we don't lightly use the word unsustainable. unsustainable means you don't have the option of saying, maybe I'll wait a couple of years, I'll see how things go. It means if you don't change, this is done.
That's serious, guys. Like, listen to that wording. Unsustainable. This means if it doesn't change, you're done. Holy God. It's crazy, eh? It's insane. It's insane.
No wonder Mark Carney bolted for another photo op trip. While he was smiling for cameras abroad, his own parliamentary budget officer dropped a nuclear bomb on the Liberal narrative, shredding, absolutely shredding the myth that Carney is some sort of financial genius and exposing the truth. This government hasn't changed its spending habits one bit. In fact, Canada's fiscal path is now headed straight for oblivion. Let's take a look.
Headed straight for oblivion. Fuck. Oh, see this fucking hat, man. What do we do it for? Why? In a country with leaders that don't love the country.
Figure 1 of your report.
It's them. They always say, "Well, the leadership the conservatives don't love this country because they complain about it." But no, the reality is that you guys have nuked this country at every turn. You guys fucking have destroyed the country. You don't care about our citizens. You want us all to fucking be just swarmed by immigrants and everything else, and you want to deem us racist when we say something about it.
Predict the
Not to mention the other messes.
The debt to GDP ratio improving. In fact, it would appear that what was once a fiscal anchor has now been abandoned by this Prime Minister and his government. As your report indicates, the debt to GDP increasing to a clearly alarming rate of 42.5%.
Whoa, the debt to GDP ratio increasing at an alarming rate of 42.5%, only almost half a percent, half, like 50, half, almost half percentage already, or not already, but that's just an insanely high, the debt to GDP ratio is almost 50 fucking percent. That's insane. That's not good at all.
So my questions are these. Is this sustainable? At what point does it hit a critical point? And should Canadians be concerned?
To answer, I think the most important part of the question first, I think everybody should be concerned.
Yeah.
My jokes aside, it's a really serious day, right? This is the first time in 30 years that we've tabled an economic and fiscal outlook where the fiscal anchor of the general and probably most important fiscal anchor for any government is a declining or at least stable debt to GDP ratio. And this is the first time in 30 years that I've seen one in which that ratio is going up over time. So that's definitely a cause for concern. Certainly on our end, we're hoping and certainly expecting the government, as part of Budget 2025, to clearly indicate what the government plans to do to address this and potentially address this problem, because it's certainly not sustainable.
They're not going to do a damn thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Jason.
They're literally not going to do a damn thing.
And Jake, he's the interim parliamentary budget officer. And he's worked in the parliamentary budget office for 17 years.
Jeez,
so this isn't some new guy that has come in and doesn't really know the ropes. He's prepared report after report. He's been involved in it. He's seen it. He's seen conservative governments. He's seen the Liberal government.
This is brutal.
And if you recall, one of the things that Chrystia Freeland kept crowing about in the last parliament to try to, combat the narrative from Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives that they were leading Canada down a very dangerous financial path was, we have a great debt to GDP ratio. We have a AAA credit rating.
Lowest debt to GDP ratio.
Lowest debt to GDP ratio. Lowest debt to GDP ratio. Lowest debt to GDP ratio. Lowest debt to GDP ratio.
Lowest debt to GDP ratio.
Best
debt to GDP ratio.
Well, now the PBO is saying your debt to GDP ratio is going up. That means, folks, the amount of debt that the country is carrying is growing. So the ratio between that and the actual gross domestic product, the amount we basically produce, that is getting, that is shrinking.
Yeah.
So the amount of debt that we're getting is getting closer to the amount that we actually produce. That is very, very problematic for any nation, never mind Canada. And the fact that he says we haven't seen this in over 30 years, that means that we haven't seen this since the mid-90s, which was a big, big, big problem for Canada, for those who remember. So he's not mincing any words. This is a concern. This is not a conservative, folks. This is someone who works in the Parliamentary Budget Office for the Liberal government.
Do you think it's important to take a look at Table 2 here?
Holy fuck, man.
Here, and for people back home, as of 2024-25, the public debt charges is $53.6 billion, and that projection is going to increase in 2030 to $82.4 billion. Is that sustainable?
So before we get his answer, folks, and for those playing the home game, this is Table 2 from the Parliamentary Budget Office report. So what is he talking about? He is talking about line 3 there, where it says public debt charges, $53.6 billion. And if you move all the way to the right, the estimate by 2030-31 is that is going to increase to $82.4 billion. Now, what does that mean? We all hear about debt service charges. What is that? So when you and I take out a loan, we take out a loan from the bank, and what ends up happening is that we take out that money and then we get charged interest on that, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So we pay interest every month.
Or whatever.
Now, this is a little different. When the government borrows money, it doesn't really borrow money from the Bank of Canada per se. What it does is it goes to the Bank of Canada and says, hey, we need money.
We need extra money.
So what the Bank of Canada does is the Bank of Canada prepares bonds, and it sells those bonds to financial institutions and investors. So most of those bonds end up going to the Canadian banks like RBC and Scotia and the rest of them. So the banks buy the bonds, that brings the money in, and in most cases the banks are creating money out of thin air. They're printing money to actually raise the capital for that, and then that goes to the Bank of Canada, which then gets transferred to the Government of Canada. Fine. So what's this debt service charge? Well, why do these banks buy these bonds? They wouldn't buy them if it wasn't in their best interest, right? Right. So what ends up happening is the government actually...
Sorry, guys. But this is important. That's why I'm not interrupting.
Gives an interest payment or almost...
A lot of people really don't know how fundamentally economies work, and this is a big essential part of it.
It's almost like a dividend payment to these financial institutions. So you get paid that interest.
What the government is doing with the gun registry is putting it... Hey
there, sorry guys, welcome. I just wanted to say leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and please leave a comment letting me know what you think of the video. really, I'm not getting anything out of this other than just to try and outroot and oust the horrible Mark Carney. Other than that, I don't get shit for making my content. So if you leave a like and subscribe and comment, I'll know where you lie, left or right. Let's have debates. Let's keep it civil as we can. And yeah, I just wanted to watch this.
The gun registry, what the government is doing with the gun registry is putting in place a much more efficient way. An efficient way for Canadians to voluntarily return prohibited firearms, for fair compensation. This government is going to do it right.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
But his own Minister of Public Safety says this government is doing it wrong. He was caught on tape saying the program won't work, and yet they are going to rip $750 million away from our border and police services to harass duck hunters and farmers by banning the firearms they use. This approach has led to a 130% increase in gun crime under the Liberals' watch. The police say they won't implement it.
Alright, hey guys, welcome back to this other segment we're going to do here. I'm not going to do this whole video like I said for the other two. The sources will be in the description below. But I wanted to watch a little bit of this just to remind Canadians.
We're sending Doug Ford onto Fox News to show them that we're not messing around up here. And we're going to send Danielle next. Maybe we won't send her. We won't send Danielle. No, maybe we won't. We won't send Danielle. No, it's bad.
Might actually get some shit done, actually, to be honest with you. Doug Ford never will. Unleash the conservatism in Canada, guys. Fuck these libtard nation.
Idea. Forget. Strike that.
Danielle Smith says, yeah, you remember when you were making fun of me during the campaign trail, giving me a hard time, calling me virtually stupid on the campaign? You remember that? You remember that? Well, guess what? Your gun buyback program is stupid. Your own public minister says it's stupid. And guess what? We're not implementing it over our cold, dead bodies. Oh, baby. Danielle Smith says bye-bye to your gun buyback program. It was wild to see her come out yesterday, and as well as the fury that we are seeing in the House of Commons over this, and what the historical precedent this really sets is very fascinating. We're going to be covering all of it. Oh, baby. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. I'm your host, Josh. If you get any value from today's episode, take the time to like, share, and subscribe. It helps us to grow, helps us to get to new audiences. Forced gun buyback. It's a stupid. Sorry, his exact words. It's a dumb program. It's dumb. I get it. It's tough. It's tough. And then when the leaked audio came out,
one of the
way the public minister kind of recoils, like, well, I was just trying to level off with my constituent. I didn't realize it was being recorded. I should have used better words. But I truly believe this is a great program. And again, this was a leaked audio that was surfaced by Tracy Wilson from the CCFR, and this has been the leading conversation this week, for the most part, at least at the federal level in the House of Commons, baby. Gun owners are frustrated because, well, this buyback program has been stupid from the get-go, and we've all known it. Even people who don't own guns realize this is a stupid...
Yeah, my dad's a hunter. I used to be a hunter. I don't have my firearms. I did not renew it once it got to the 18-year-old... renewal or whatever. I can't remember what it is, the adult renewal for it. I just never bothered. But to say that my dad's rights should be infringed upon because I didn't go out and get a hunting license, and in fact I may if inflation was down, but that's a separate issue, separate topic. I gotta go through all the renewals and shit. Anyway, I don't want my dad's rights to be infringed upon. He has hunting rifles. And this thing totally, absolutely covers it, and they make it out to be AR-15s. In that it's law-abiding citizens. Law-abiding citizens do not have AR-15s because they are a prohibited firearm, a prohibited gun in Canada. So the civilized people, the non-criminal people will not have them. Therefore, only criminals will have AR-15s. And your bail and not jail has totally butchered them going to jail for having said guns, really. I mean, they just pay their way out in organized crime. That's very obvious. And this guy, he must be a connected network to the organized crimes. And in fact, I feel like that may be fairly true for a lot of the liberal caucus, both here and there, you know, meaning here now with Mark Carney and there with Justice Beaver Trudeau.
An utter program. And I think that's been the crux of the issue. Is that even
Trudeau.
Their own public minister says, yeah,
I heard the translator said Justice Trudeau, and I was just like, yes, he is forever Justice Trudeau, even though he has nothing to do with justice. I just like calling him Justice Trudeau because it sounds like a girl name.
Kind of a waste of time. It's a waste of money. Even though
But petty shit, right, as well. Why engage?
Earmarked $742 million for the program.
Okay, note that $742 million, almost $1 billion for this program that they're not going to be enforcing all over Canada. Alberta has said that it's insane and they're not doing it, and all of it's just nuts. Like that alone, almost $1 billion for this damn program.
Liberals still stand up in the House of Commons and defend it. But here's the thing: is when even the Liberals are admitting that this is kind of a stupid program, even the public minister's like, "This is a dumb program, and it's gonna kind of be a waste of time." And even though we've capped the buybacks at $742 million, meaning if you are an owner.
All right, so I'm just gonna leave it here. If you want to watch the rest of the video, you can do that. I'm gonna timestamp a comment in his comment section 238, and it's just gonna be where I left off for my video, and you guys can go and check that out as well. His video is really great. The what is it? Elevate podcast. Yeah, the Elevate podcast. They're wonderful. This dude's fucking fantastic. He's always on the ball, you know. So, yeah. Shit. Yeah. Anyway, have a good one, guys.